time to focus on the things you need, the things you deserve. You deserve a healthy body, supplements that get you moving and keep you moving, that make you feel good, look good, do good. And they shouldn't contain GMOs, artificial ingredients, or heavy metals, ever. Supplements that are clinically studied, use proven absorption technologies, are designed by scientists, and are ethically sourced and produced. Supplements with everything you need, nothing you don't. You deserve a company that you can trust, that's dedicated to safe manufacturing practices and third-party testing, that ensures the highest quality of effectiveness from extraction of ingredients all the way to the composition of the packaging. Wait a second. You deserve to see the process. You deserve a company led by a CEO with a deep belief in the power of people, dedicated to inspiring entrepreneurs to achieve success. A company with a phytonutrient chemist and expert on natural molecules who is obsessed with human health and has your best interest in mind to design its products. A board comprised of talented doctors from around the world. You deserve to be surrounded by people you trust and look up to. Empowered ambassadors that inspire wellness every day. Leaders who are rooting for you to be the best version of yourself. A community that works hard and plays hard. You deserve to experience adventures that take you around the world, and you deserve to be recognized for your hard work. It's time to get what you deserve. It's time to shift your focus. 3.
Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to another episode of Empowerment Tuesday. My name is Nilbert, and I am joining you from San Diego, California. And it is truly my honor and a pleasure to be able to spend this next 30 to 35 minutes with you and share a little bit of my experiences and a little bit of nuggets that I've learned along the way in building this business and being in this movement. So a little bit about myself. I finished a 22-year career with the US Navy. I retired in 2021. And after retiring, I decided that I am done not having control of my time. So I decided to become an entrepreneur. Well, it so happened that about 18, 19 months ago, my wife and I were on travel overseas, and we both got extremely sick with severe symptoms. And we were almost stuck in a foreign country with all these severe symptoms. It so happened that someone from our tour group was gracious enough to share these products, these amazing all natural products with us, and we were able to recover fairly quickly and be able to safely get back to the U.S. So after that experience, I decided to look more into this opportunity. I found out more about the products and about this global movement, and I decided to jump in with both feet. So today, I'd like to cover the topic of how to share and lead your teams. To me, it really is it's near and dear to my heart, because if it weren't for that lady who decided to share this opportunity or the products with me, I would not be here in front of you today. So let me share my screen with you and just walk you through our topic today. So how to share and lead your team. When you share this opportunity, when you share the products, when you share this movement, the most important thing really is to connect with your audience, right? And you pique their interest. You have to learn how to kind of overcome objections, because as we know, this is not for everyone, right? Some people will probably say no. And then also to round it up for these like basic skill sets in how to share this opportunity, you have to project the right posture. So these are the topics I'm gonna touch on today. So connecting with your audience, building relationships first. Our business or our industry, it's all about people, right? It's all about relationships. More often than not, it'll be your relationship with the person that will determine whether they actually will join you in this business or in this movement. Okay, whether you already know them, you already have an established relationship, or whether you're building your relationship first. So really, the most important thing in being able to successfully connect with the audience is to build relationships first. Be relatable, right? Uh, I come from a military background. I have business partners who come from all different kinds of backgrounds, medical field, the health industry. I also have people who come from different spaces, like being Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, retail, and all that. So we all come from different backgrounds. So we're basically just like everybody else. So be relatable, right? If your audience can relate to you, then they can put themselves in your place and vice versa, and that will help you connect with them more effectively. So you build a relationship, you make sure you're relatable, and then you find common ground that you can actually use to basically get them to take a look at this opportunity. Okay, adapt to their style. Like I said, everyone comes from different backgrounds. So when you're dealing with someone who comes from corporate, maybe an executive level type of prospect or audience, then when you meet with them in person for coffee or for a set appointment, then make sure that you're actually dressed or prepared, for meeting that type of prospect, right? Does that make sense? So if you know that they're an executive, they'll probably be in a sport coat, or a collared shirt, slacks. So you kind of adapt to their style. It'll help bridge the gap and help you connect with your audience again a lot easier. In our team, we love using this. We have this acronym for form. Okay, so when you're trying to connect with your prospect, you ask them about their family. Okay, you ask them about their occupation, what recreational activities they participate in, and what motivates them. Okay, by kind of having an idea on these four different information pieces of information, you will have a good uh overall sense of how best to approach this prospect, or what a method to use to get them really interested in what you want to share with them. So sharing the opportunity and piquing interest. You start with the need. So identify how your opportunity addresses a specific point or goal, right? You basically identify why this opportunity can possibly answer one of the challenges they have currently, maybe, or one of the goals they have currently, which you would have already have some idea because you used form earlier to kind of get a good sense of what your prospect's background is. Keep it simple, right? Less is more. So my personal experience when I started this, I was so excited in sharing this that I did a lot of what I like to call verbal vomiting of information. Like I was so interested, I was so excited that hey, these products are so amazing. They're scientifically tested, clinically tested, and all that. So the more information that you provide, the more chances that the person will have questions, to ask you. And chances are, especially if you're new at this, if you're just starting out, you might not be fully equipped to answer those questions. So again, less is more. And why is that? Because your only objective is to get them to watch an opportunity Zoom or event, right? because when they get to a Zoom or event, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, they get to see the complete overview of who we are as a company, the science behind our products, and what this global e-commerce opportunity is all about, right? So, one of the simple lines I like to use, keeping it very general, is something like this: I found a way to work from home and increase my income. Let me know if you're curious, right? Or I'm working on a project with a group of entrepreneurs who are serious about financial freedom. Is that something that you might be open in looking into? So something like that. I didn't mention anything more specific about the products, the company, or or whatnot. Now, use the system. If you're in this Zoom or this webinar right here, you're part of the team, you're part of the three family, then we have established systems for everyone to use. We have regularly scheduled Zoom opportunity calls. We have our global Monday corporate calls. We have Empowerment Tuesdays, Wellness Wednesdays. So use the system, get your prospects to these scheduled events. And if not, even if they're not available to that, you can do one-on-one Zooms by getting your upline or your leadership involved, right? And you work around their schedule. And you can always end with engagement questions like, okay, so if you could solve one challenge in your life right now, what would it be? Right? Get them to kind of like tell you like what they want to achieve. And that way, you kind of talk, well, are you open to looking at new opportunities? If this opportunity is something that would solve this challenge in your life, would you be open to looking at it? Something like that. Okay. Now, overcoming objections is very important because, as we know in this industry, a lot of people will say no. Some people will even say emphatically, like, no, right? Um, I've had so many people that, told me, no, no, it's not for me and all that. And at first, it really kind of depressed me. But if you really think about it, and something I've learned along the way of 18 months of doing this is that, again, it's not for everyone. The right people will join your business. So for me, no just means next opportunity. Common objections usually center around time, cost, or doubt in ability. Okay. So, how do you handle these objections? Okay, well, one, you definitely have to listen actively and empathize. You don't dismiss their objections offhand, right? You basically listen and really empathize, allow them to express their concerns fully. That way, it will allow you to clarify the concern. So, for example, let's say they say it's the cost, right? Well, you can ask, well, when you say it's too expensive, is it about the upfront cost or the long-term commitment, right? Sometimes, they'll say, well, I'm not sure if I can do this, right? So actually, that one for me, that's why whenever I do my presentations from my team or for new prospects, I do love to highlight the fact that I come from a military background and I don't have any experience in this industry whatsoever. This is my first venture in this space, right? So basically, I tell them if I can do it, anyone can do it, right? Provide value by reframing their objection. Sometimes just making them look at their objection in a different perspective already makes them, like see that it's actually not an objection that it's like a deal breaker at all. For example, if it's the cost, that they're mentioning, well, you kind of reframe it. Okay, you know what? This is not really about spending money. It's actually about creating a way to earn more, right? It's the same thing, but you just reframed it the other way. Now, this one I love. I've heard our leaders teach about this, so I'm borrowing it and including it in today's nuggets. The FFF concept, right? Feel, felt, and found. What does that mean? Well, when they have objections, you basically empathize. So you tell them, I know how you feel, right? because I felt the same way, right? But after looking at this opportunity, this is what I found. Okay, so basically, you're not fighting the objection. You're actually acknowledging their objection, and you're letting them know that you basically had the same thought process before, and after looking at the opportunity, you actually found something that works, right? Or something that really interested you. Projecting the right posture. So this is so important because a lot of people will feel exactly when you approach them, where your confidence level is, right? Speak with confidence. Believe in yourself, believe in the products, and believe in the opportunity that you're sharing. Okay? Avoid sounding desperate or pushy because our goal is not to share, right? I mean, I'm sorry, our goal is not to sell, but to share. We're not just trying to sell products, right? We're trying to share an opportunity for them to get healthier and also possibly to get financially in a better spot. So we should approach this as a guide and not a salesperson, right? Position yourself as someone offering a solution rather than seeking a favor. So after you've connected with your audience, you found out that, okay, they could use a little bit more income, like extra income to the household. They definitely want more time to spend with their family, right? So you offer this opportunity as a solution that will, add extra income to their household income on a weekly, monthly basis. And also that, by doing this opportunity and adding income, they may be able to scale back on the other stuff that they're doing and be able to spend more time with family. Does that make sense? All right. This might not be for everyone, but it's helped me and others. So I'm excited to share it, right? Again, you're not putting a lot of pressure for them to like, oh, I have to sign up or whatever. You basically tell them, it's helped me and so many other people, and I'm just sharing this opportunity. Controlling the conversation by using positive, forward-focused language, right? So let's explore if this is a good fit for you. If this opportunity will provide you answers to the challenges that you currently have, are you open to moving forward? Are you comfortable moving forward? Right? And use effective body language. Okay. When your audience is there in person, make sure to have eye contact and to show enthusiasm. Now be careful, be enthusiastic without being overbearing, okay? Because sometimes when you're overly enthusiastic, that can actually end up scaring people away, right? Now, if it's a Zoom, make sure you're also making eye contact by looking directly at the camera. I actually had to learn just the hard way, right? Because the camera is right in the middle, right in the center of your laptop or your iPad. And when I started doing Zooms, I see the icons of the participants right there. And basically, I couldn't help but, when you're talking to someone, you want to look at someone as if you're talking to someone, right? So I ended up looking at the icons, which was off to the side of the screen. So later, when I play the video back, I see that I'm actually not looking at the camera. So I've since learned to kind of mitigate that by not having the icons up so I don't really see anyone when I'm on a Zoom. So, you know, pro tip there for you. So now we've kind of covered how to share the opportunity, how to connect with your audience, basically empathizing with them and how to, overcome objections, by projecting, a very confident posture. So when you're working with your team, right, how do you effectively lead your team? Because, we are all about people. This is, we are one big family and one big team in 3 International, and we are all in this movement together. So it is up to us to really build our team and lead our teams, right? Everyone in three, I honestly believe this, everyone is a leader, Sometimes they just have to kind of like really kind of work at it, but there's a leader in every single person. So what are the key roles of a leader, right? They inspire vision and goals. We have such amazing leaders in our company, Kim Hui, Samson Lee, Daniel Piku, and all the other leaders that we have. They inspire, the vision. They inspire us to go for our goals, right? And as a leader, always lead by example. It is something that I myself kind of like learned in the military. The most effective way to lead your people especially in a military scenario is to lead by example. And then as a leader, it's up to you to build relationships and trust. Okay, so I'd like to borrow some concepts that a very renowned leadership expert has used in a lot of his books and seminars and training, the great John Maxwell. So he used the ABCs of leadership a lot in many of his books and many of his training seminars. So A stands for attitude. It all starts with attitude, right? Leaders set the tone. Okay. A positive attitude is infectious and inspires the team. Is that right? I mean, wouldn't you agree? If you have a leader that's really on the go, that's really leading the team, it just can't, it will actually automatically spread through the whole team. Okay, so leaders set the tone. Resilience and optimism. Leaders need to remain focused and composed, even in tough times. Um, I don't know about you guys, but I've experienced a lot of tough times in the 18 months that I've been doing this. Times where it can get really depressing. And if it weren't for my own leaders and mentors who really remained focused on who and composed and kept me focused, I don't know if I would have achieved as much success as I have. So resilience and optimism. You have to remain focused and remain composed, even though your team may be experiencing a drought or maybe experiencing some setbacks, right? Because they will happen. They definitely will happen. So resilience and optimism. Example, this is from John Maxwell. People may hear your words, but they feel your attitude. Okay, let me read that one more time. People may hear your words, but they feel your attitude. So the attitude is what really will convey and inspire your team. There's this saying, people won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Is that right? I love that quote, right? People won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So B stands for belief. Okay. Believe in yourself first and foremost. Confidence in your own abilities as a leader is essential. Now, when you're starting out, you may be new. And like I said, there is a leader in everyone. But at the start, if you have to, borrow the belief of your leader. Okay. Borrow the belief of your mentor until you yourself can fill up your own cup of belief in yourself, right? Um, so I kind of have at least a one up, so to speak, coming into this industry because I do come from a 22 years of a military background. So I've had a lot of opportunities to really develop as a leader. But even then, in this new industry, this new space, first time, I'm starting from scratch. I'm basically starting from the very bottom, not knowing anything. A lot of times I had to borrow my leader's belief before I was able to really muster that belief in myself that I can really do this. Okay. And then as a leader, you believe in others. Trusting and empowering your team helps them reach their potential. Okay, this is by far my favorite nugget right here with this slide. trusting and empowering your team goes so far. Basically, leadership really is not about showcasing what you can do or what your talents are, right? Leadership is helping your team find and discover their talents. Okay, so you help them reach their potential. And then to tie this all together, right? So you believe in yourself, believe in others, you have to believe in the mission, right? You have to believe in the vision. You have to believe in what we're doing here as a global movement. We are changing lives all over the world, right? From, Kim's vision of a legacy, a legacy company that helps people get healthy physically, financially, and spiritually. That's what we are all about. So you have to believe in the mission, right? And then by believing the mission, that will, again, as a leader, it's infectious. That will, spread to the whole team and have, make allow them to believe in the mission as well. C stands for connection. Okay, very, very important because, as I mentioned earlier in the earlier slides, relationships matter. Leadership is influence, and influence is built on relationships. There's a difference between leadership and managing, or leaders and managers, right? As a leader, you influence your team to aspire to be more and to really realize their potential. Managers, okay, what they do is they manage the day-to-day activities. They manage the problems and all that. I'm not saying that managing is not important, but if you want to really influence your team, you have to be a leader, and that is built on relationships. Active listening. Understanding your team's needs builds trust and loyalty, right? So just the same as when you actively listen to your prospect, on to your audience, and see what they actually have to say, whether it's an objection or what their feedback is on this opportunity, you have to do the same thing with your team. You actually have to listen actively to understand what your team needs, because everyone is different. You will have different kinds of personalities in your team, and you have to be able to deal with each personality and find the best way to inspire each person depending on their personality. And that is what will build trust and loyalty within the team. Communication is key because a leader must clearly articulate the vision and provide regular feedback, right? So again, remember what I mentioned about believing in the vision, right? Believing in the mission. So like, I'm doing this because, the products really um, provided me with such beneficial results that I just can't help but share it with as many people as possible, because I don't want to miss anyone. I want to make sure I share this with as many people as possible. Now, if they don't take me up on that offer, that's fine. At least I did my job, right? So a leader must clearly articulate the vision of why it is important to share this opportunity. And then with your team, like whenever they have setbacks and all that, provide regular feedback and provide, possible, like, okay, all right, coaching and mentoring, this is where that comes in, right? You provide feedback. Okay, maybe you could have done this better this way. This might be more effective than what you tried before. Things like that, right? So communication is key. So to wrap this all up as a conclusion and call to action, success in building the business comes from connecting authentically, right? Whether it's with your audience or with your team, sharing the opportunity effectively and piquing curiosity, right? Overcoming objections gracefully, meaning don't fight the objections. Listen and then work with the objections. Work with the people who actually have, objections that they need to have answered, so to speak. Projecting confidence and belief. It all starts with making sure that you believe in what you're sharing, and applying the concepts of the A, B, and C's of leadership. So a call to action, today, practice one skill and some of the skills that I mentioned earlier to strengthen your approach with prospects. Identify key leaders in your team, lead by example, and teach them to duplicate. I'm sure you've heard this so many times from so many of our leaders. Our business is all about duplication, right? It's so important because imagine if you have to do all the work and basically, managing, basically doing everything and everyone else in your team is just kind of following, right? 100% of the effort falls on you. But imagine this, if you teach your team to duplicate, if you teach your leaders to duplicate, guess what? You are multiplying your effort almost exponentially, probably even more, right? And I want to leave you with this thought, and I think which is so true. Remember, your business will only grow as fast as your leaders grow, right? So start today and lead by example, empower your leaders, and build the foundation for tomorrow's success. Okay. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today for this week's Empowerment Tuesday. I hope that some of the nuggets that I've shared with you help you in building or at least improving the way your business is growing. And let's do this together. Let's build this movement and let's build this movement together as the company continues to grow not only here but globally. So this is Nilbert signing off from San Diego. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.